And so I said, COVID is out, Bean Dad is in, 2021, baby! Hi, I'm Dan, welcome to the Slalt Cast.
I was fucked.
What you've done is you've cursed in the first couple seconds, so now we can't use this either.
Why can't I curse in the first couple seconds?
Demonetization! We don't get monetized.
Oh, I know, that's so stupid.
Hi, welcome to the Slalt Cast. That was take 2 of the intro. I'm your host, Daniel. I'm joined today by...
my name's
I pointed to Joseph.
Fuck.
Hi, my name's Joseph.
Hi, I'm Kobe.
This is the Slalt Cast. It's 2021. We have Bean Dad. Bean Dad. Bean Dad. Bean Dad. He's actually a piece of shit. Kobe, I thought you were an avid Twitter user now.
No.
Bean Dad is the first main character of 2021.
Okay.
So Joseph, are you familiar with Bean Dad?
No, I'm not. I'm not a Twitter user, so...
So, a gentleman by the name of John Roderick, who is a dad, I think he was also on some podcasts, he put out a tweet today. The transcription of the tweet is as follows. So yesterday, my daughter, 9, was hungry, and I was doing a jigsaw puzzle. So I said over my shoulder, make some baked beans. She said, how? Like all kids do when they want you to do it. So I said, open a can and put it in the pot. She brought me the can and said, open it how? Oh man, this is really small. With a can opener, I said. Incredulous. She brought me the can opener and we both stared at it. I realized I'd never taught her to use it. Most cans now have pull tops. I felt like such a dope. What kind of apocalypse father doesn't teach his kids how to use a manual can opener? So I said, how do you think this works? She studied it and applied it to the top of the can sideways. She struggled for a while and with a big dramatic sigh said, will you please just open the can? Apocalypse Dad was overjoyed. A teaching moment just dropped in my lap. I said, the little device is designed to do one thing. Open cans. Study the parts. Study the can. Figure out what the can opener inventor was thinking when they tried to solve the problem. There's some shit in brackets, it's not important, I'm not going to read it. I went back to my jigsaw puzzle, fucking father of the year right here. She was next to me, grunting and groaning.
More than 240 characters.
It's like 8 tweets. Trying to get the thing. I should say, the spatial orientation, process visualization, and order of operations are not things she intuits, but I knew this would be a challenge. But it was a rainy weekend. He goes on being a cunt for a couple more. Oh man, this doesn't even have the end of it. Basically... What the fuck? Why does it say the end of it? Basically, he didn't feed his daughter for 6 hours because he wanted to do a jigsaw puzzle instead of opening a can.
Well, it can't.
And not so...
That's the worst. That's the worst. Go on, Dan.
So, Twitter, as they do, this being the first main character of 2021, they dove into his past. And it turns out he's like a massive anti-Semite, transphobe, homophobe, has said like a bunch of shit. And so Twitter today was just blowing up with like quotes of him. I saw some, I can't read any of them because they'll get removed from the internet. But him using anti-Semitic slurs, slurs against the disabled, slurs against homosexual and trans individuals. It was a lot. So he's been dropped by his podcast network. I think his account got deleted. His verified Twitter account. Being Dad.
I'd just like to say that Dan refused to let me swear within the first moments of the podcast, but the first topic he brought up was a xenophobe, a homophobe, and we're talking about what a piece of shit this guy. I don't get you, Dan. I don't get you.
Being Dad, it's going to get us clicks because it's trending on Twitter.
It's trending on Twitter 4 days ago from when this podcast
Kobe, don't tell them.
That's so stupid.
Kobe, we do this podcast live for whenever anyone listens.
Sure. Okay. Yeah,
Kobe,
we do it live. Where do we do it? Where do we do it live? Where do we do it live, Joseph?
On Twitch at twitch.tv/SlaltCast. Joseph, what Kobe did was he popped it up, and all you had to do was swing at it.
All you have to do.
I did some visual comedy. If you're not watching on youtube.com/we don't have a vanity URL, just search Slalt Cast. Now that our promo's out the way, how was everyone's New Year's? How good is it now? COVID's gone out and the restrictions aren't definitely the worst they've ever been.
Yeah. Hugh's fault is that.
So the boys have a bit of a New Year's story. A bit of a cheeky New Year's story. Do you want to tell
It's
it?
just about us bullying someone.
Would you like to tell the story, Kobe? Or
I would
you
love
like
to tell the story.
Alright, I'm happy for you to tell. Let's get in there, mate.
We have a friend. For the sake of the story, let's call her Ash. Oh, that's a good name.
You can't laugh too hard. It ruins the bit. We're doing it live, so I can't edit it. You can't laugh too hard.
So at some point during the night, this was pretty late. We had Blake and Duggo, friends of the show, had been drinking from 1:30, and we were at a park near where you guys live. Not near where I live. I could dox it right now. I could just dox it. I could say the park. Anyway, but they were there from 1:30.
We can say the park.
Nah, because I said where it's near where you live, so I don't know.
I mean, but it's not. You'd have to do a bit of a traversal. I think the viewers know we're in the Shire. I don't think we're gonna. I don't.
No. Anyway, semantics. So this was
no, Cody. Let's get stuck
8:30.
into it. I'm talking about 1 across 4 down. That's a joke from the stream where we stream on twitch.tv/Slotcast. Continue with your story.
This was about at 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30. It was dark.
It was later, Kobe. It was
was it?
like 10 at night.
Oh fuck! All right, so this is about 9:30, 10, and she introduces her new friend. For the sake of the story, let's call him Hugh. So she introduces him as Hugh, and again, Blake, friend of the show, very, 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 very lovely boy, but also a fucking idiot. The first thing he asks this man was, "Is it spelt HUE or HUGH?"
See, okay, here's my hypothesis on why this transpired. Our friend Blake works at a popular Australian hardware franchise known as Bunnings.
Tell you which Bunnings he works.
No, I was going to say we're not going to elaborate further on that.
Yeah.
Now, do we know if Blake has spent any time in the electrical section of Bunnings, perchance?
No, he doesn't work there. But also,
he did it once.
Let's say, for argument's sake, Blake works in the electrical department of Bunnings. A common item Bunnings would sell would be Philips Hue bulbs. Do you think Blake's exposure to Philips Hue bulbs caused this misunderstanding?
I think Blake was in the electrical section once. Somebody asked him about a light bulb, and he said, "I don't know." I think that's a true story.
So
I don't
the
think...
Hue bulbs.
Yeah, no. Anyway, so that was that. And anyway, Hugh, lovely name. Such a wonderful name. So. Well, we wouldn't know Dan because see, as soon as that happened, somebody, I actually don't know. Don't know Hugh.
It was
just any time somebody would say who or you, they would replace it with Hugh, and this went on for about 30 to 35 minutes, and he felt uncomfortable and left, and she left with him, and then...
Wait, did you make her leave? I didn't know that part of the story.
We didn't make her leave.
No, so she was with him, like she brought him, and then she felt bad that we were bullying him, because other than it was only me and Dugan who actually went up and said hello to this bloke. Everyone else kind of just gave him like a wave. But after, because I sort of felt bad, because that had been going on for a couple of minutes. Me and Dugan went up to
yelled at by his.
No, this was before. This is before.
Elaborate, please.
Your time is incorrect, Cody.
No, it's not.
Let's get it back.
He was perfectly sober over New Year's, so I don't know how his timing would have gotten.
No, he wasn't sober.
That was the joke. That was actually, in fact, the joke.
Well, it was a shit joke. Okay, yeah. So no, so he came in. And then we started saying the jokes. I think someone said something, and then it just kind of spiraled, and then everyone, and you just kind of just kept making more ways to say his name as a pun. And so then I felt bad, and so did Dugan. So we got up and we said hello. Like we went and shook his hand and go, "Oh, hey mate, how you going?" Had a bit of a chat. Then we kind of sat down. We kind of stopped for a little bit, but then he actually. Well, I think Ash was like, "Oh, you know what? Like, let's go. We're going." Left.
So how long before midnight is this? Like, is this like a 9 p.m. departure?
This was about 10. This was about 10:30.
Yeah.
So
And
you
they
really have
left.
caused an early departure with your light
Oh yeah,
ribbing.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And so then so Dugan's girlfriend and
Let's
a couple
call
other
her
girls sit
Laura.
down with us. Let's go. And they start going off at us.
Understandably.
They're like, "Look, what you've made happen. You've made her leave and made him leave." At that point, I was like, "Fair enough." But then we wanted to make more Hugh jokes because he wasn't there. You know, he can't defend himself there. He doesn't hear him. It's fine. Like, it's not hurting anyone.
It's not, so the jokes are never about him. It's just the idea of the name Hugh and Blake. It's actually a joke on Blake.
We weren't targeting him.
We weren't
like,
bullying
as a
Hugh.
new
Well, I wasn't even
Yeah,
there.
we were just making shitty
Yeah.
puns of his name, and it was at that moment in time the funniest thing that we were saying. So we just kept going along with it.
Yeah, like it wasn't that interesting of a night, so that was kind of the highlight, and that tells you how fucking shit
But
it
it
was.
only became funnier when people were getting angry at us for saying it.
Actually, it was funnier
exacerbated
once
it
they
so
left.
much. It's like the wrong way to handle a joke, and I've handled jokes so many times wrongly in my life.
Kobe, would a time that you handled a joke incorrectly be the Meow Meow saga?
No, that joke was chef's kiss.
Do you think it was not a little long in the tooth?
Nah.
Let's continue.
It went for its right. So like now, but you know, no ill will, but also, you know, you can't really make fun of my name or Joseph's name.
Kobe, if your name was Hugh, I want you to know you'd be relentlessly bullied.
I was endlessly bullied for no other reason. So you know that hurts me. You know, like my tiny ears.
Oh, they're
Just
so
you're
unbelievably
extremely
large. Yeah, Joseph, I don't know what you did, but look at your preview.
Sorry. Yep, sorry.
All right. Next topic. Woo!
Oh, so was that the only thing that happened on New Year's? Blake said something about a bunch
the
of.
only thing that happened.
Well, wasn't there a bunch of like cops and fireys and shit? What was that?
Oh, okay, yeah. That wasn't really anything. Like, I think the boys kind of they salt and pepper that a lot. Basically, someone lit a fire in the back corner, and it went, and then it died, and then a bunch of like cops and fireys came, and they just were like, "Oh, have you guys seen fire?" And like, nah, it's just over there. It was over there, but now it's gone. And they're
So
like,
yeah,
"Oh, okay."
this was, for the record, not like our friend group. It was another group also in the same.
It was
park.
It was another group. Joseph went with someone to drop people off, so he wasn't there. So what I assume happened.
I was still there with the fire camp stuff.
The call was made. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, whoops. The call was made, and it was sent to the 3 fire stations that are within that area. And because it's such a short distance, and I assume there was very little traffic at that time, they all kind of got to the same place, and everyone, and like they didn't have enough time to tell each other there is no fire, because they came like within the amount of time that like once one got there, the other one also pulled up, and the cops were there because there were fireworks, and fireworks are illegal in New South Wales.
Well, yeah, someone lit a firework and it went sideways and just into this group of people.
Oh my god!
It was pretty bad.
Oh, geez.
Like I was like kind of just looking at it. I'm like, oh, there we go. That's some kids fucking
there
lost
it is.
No, but yeah, it was pretty shit news.
Yeah,
would
no.
not recommend. Would have rather stayed home.
It sounds like I had a better time than you guys did.
What you?
So me and Brooke had like a busy day the next day that's just not podcast content. But so I was just with Brooke on New Year's, and we drank wine and watched Game of Thrones, and then we were in bed by 11. It was great.
You watch Game of Thrones. You're good.
Why would you watch Game of Thrones?
Well, she was watching Game of Thrones because she hasn't seen it. We were in like season 1. I don't know. And I hadn't really watched a Game of... I've seen like the first season and then like the last episode or 2 of Game of Thrones, and then I've heard you guys talk about it enough that I basically have watched it.
Oh.
That is what? You haven't seen the majority of Game of
Oh,
Thrones?
absolutely not.
I thought you were in film club.
I was.
That's what you talked about.
So for context, we had, in year 11 and 12 at school, the greatest teacher of all time. We can't say his name because I don't want to get him in trouble by him being associated with this podcast in any way. Absolute bloody legend, this bloke. He was like, I'm doing a film club. He put it out in like the daily like newsletter, basically, and was like, I'm doing a film club. There'll be free food. The boys saw free food and we were like, fucking, we're going to film club. Ladies and gents, we rock up a film club to an absence of free food, but instead riveting conversation about like films. And then when Game of Thrones was on, it was just a lot about Game of Thrones and not about the films.
And there was a promise of free food that kept us engaged.
But yeah, no. So because of all of that discussion, and then you guys, like when Game of Thrones was on, the schoolyard discussions would only ever be about Game of Thrones. So I feel like I got the full experience, you know?
Yeah,
No.
and the anguish. Did you come to when we
you did a couple watch parties for the final season at your place, and I came to all them. So I've seen the first season, like the last like 2 episodes.
That's astonishing. That you haven't seen all of them, but you criticize me for not seeing classic movies, which I argue have been talked about so much on the internet that I've basically already seen them.
What? Okay. You can't compare you not seeing Back to the Future to me not seeing 90 episodes of a TV show.
But I already know what happens in Back to the Future.
Yes, but you don't know the intricacies like I know the intricacies of Game of Thrones.
You don't know the intricacies of Game of Thrones.
Yes, I do.
Well,
Don't you know?
Well, okay, I would argue that the intricacy. I don't even know how to say that word. That it doesn't fucking matter because that it ends shittily. Back to the Future 3 is the perfect movie.
Absolutely. Back to the Future 3 better than Back to the Future 2.
Back to the Future 3 is better than any movie ever made.
Back to the Future 1 is a perfect
refuse.
movie. Also, I'd like to highlight, we don't normally do this, but we are streaming live on Twitch. In the Twitch chat, Hash Bacon, Lawrence, #1 contributor, has said, he hasn't what? Kobe, go watch Back to the Future, you absolute fuckknuckle. I agree with the sentiment.
No. I have a unique experience of going through life of not having watched so many irreverent movies.
Oh, that's not what that word...
That's not that word means.
I think revered movies is what you're...
Revered, that's what I'm looking
irreverent
for.
is like Dirty Grandpa. Because of
yes, you're right. Yes, so revered, sorry. Revered
Joseph,
movies,
you're blown out again.
like all the Back to the Futures, all the Matrixes,
The Matrices.
I don't care about the Matrix though.
I can't believe you haven't seen the first one.
I actually haven't seen Star Wars Episode 5.
That's a lie.
That is a lie.
We've watched it with you.
That's a lie.
I was about to fucking lose my shit. I don't think I understand my whole life. Oh man.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's just I can't believe it.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, Kobe, did you see Wonder Woman?
No,
Do you care if it gets spoiled?
No, not at all.
Oh, good, because it's really bad.
It's fine.
No, fuck you. That movie was literally told like a kid going, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened, and then this happened.
I never said it was good.
Wonder Woman was barely in it. And then when she was in it, she spent the whole time pining after Chris Pine's character.
So I would too. Have you seen Chris
Yes, but
Pine?
it's supposed to be like a movie with a strong female lead.
Yeah, and they need a man there.
No! Oh my god, it was so bad. And like, okay.
Everyone, I want to point
So, okay,
out,
spoilers alert. I'm going to go into light spoilers if you do care. I'm not going to go into major plot things.
Nothing happens, though.
Nothing happens, first off. Okay, but so, they go to the point, okay, first off, she's like, oh, my dad made Themyscira invisible. I figured out how to do it. And then that was explained in like 1 second. And then she makes the invisible jet. And that's cool, okay? Invisible jet, that's cool. 10 minutes later, she learns to fly. Wonder Woman doesn't fly, and you just made the invisible jet. Like, what? Why? Also,
Actually, who wrote that movie? I don't know.
Patty Jenkins and 6 Warner Brothers executives, probably. Pedro Pascal was the main character of the movie, first
It
off.
was great.
Second off, the movie's called Wonder Woman 1984. It being in the 80s does not matter at all to that movie. It literally does not matter. It does not matter one bit. Oh my god, it's ridiculous.
It was by Jeff Johns and Dave Callahan. How does Jeff Johns keep writing this shit when he writes such good comic books?
Yeah, that's interesting.
I think it's because I would assume it's because the format of comic books, like translating an existing comic book into a film is extremely easy.
Oh, okay.
It is easy, right? But translating like just a script from a comic book writer, I think would be a little bit more difficult because it's a difference of like how you present information.
I feel like it was probably him given points to write about, and
that too.
I just don't understand. So I wasn't the biggest fan of the first Wonder Woman movie because I felt the third act was weak compared to the rest of the movie. But at least it was a serviceable movie. Like, at least there was a beginning, a middle, and end, and they all made sense. And there was a character arc, and it made sense.
That movie was good up until like the very end.
Hey, we're not talking about that movie. We're not talking about that movie. We're not talking about
I know, but this is the only part I can put my input in, and I disagree. It's just that last part.
Anyway, that's still the third act. This movie, she doesn't have a character. Her whole character arc is, I like Chris Pine, but I have to let him go. Wonder Woman.
You couldn't tell me that you didn't get teary at that point.
I didn't. Like, okay, he literally just stole someone else's body and no one cared. Yeah. No one cared.
Yeah, I was like watching. I'm like, is anyone gonna notice like this guy's missing or
also okay, Joseph,
acting normal?
Top of your head, over what time period did that movie happen? Like, what time span did that movie take place over?
I think it was like a week, probably.
Okay, so at one point in the movie, when they're flying the invisible jet, it's the 4th of July. At the end of the movie, it's Christmas. What happened? What happened?
Wait, at the end of the movie, it's Christmas.
Yes, it's all snowing, and she makes up with the guy whose body he stole. And it's Christmas.
It's a Christmas movie. It's like Die Hard. Another movie I haven't seen.
Also, they didn't explain Pedro Pascal and the stone at all. You kind of just had to figure it out. He was like, I became the stone. And then he starts just taking... How
did he find out that he needs to...
Yeah, there was no... Every single thing, they just figured out without any issue. They were like, wow, the stone's disappeared. Maybe he's the stone. Off to Egypt. They didn't really explain her losing her powers at all. It was kind of that one inference, like where she like let go of the whip, and then he was like, your powers are going, Diana.
Oh yeah, she lost her powers at one point.
Yeah, and then she learned to fly. And they tried to do the Man of Steel thing.
Did I watch the movie, or did I just watch the first one again?
Oh my, that movie was like, I was expecting a bad movie. It was, oh, don't say that. It was upsettingly bad. Upsettingly bad.
Hey Dan, do you have tickets for another showing of the movie Wink?
What are you trying to... Are you saying that you want to see the movie? What are you trying to get? What are you
yes,
trying to get?
I do want to see the movie.
Oh, yeah, you can just go to the cinema and see it. You have to wear a mask.
Oh, you went to the cinema and watched it?
Yeah.
Hey, Joseph, do you have a ticket that I could use? Wink?
We're not going to get into this topic on the stream while we're live on the podcast.
Don't download our stuff illegally, kids.
So my recommendation is... Watch this movie if you like watching comic book movies, but understand it's not going to be a good movie because it's not. It's a bad movie. Also, I didn't even get started on Kristen Wiig. What the fuck? Anyway.
They butchered Cheetah badly. Real bad.
Isn't she just meant to be Cheetah? Isn't she just meant to be
Cheetah? but they butchered
story arc doesn't. She just kills a guy at one point and is like, I'm bad now.
Yeah, but she was bullied and almost raped.
I mean, you can kill the rapist, but it didn't make sense. It just didn't make sense.
No, I don't think she killed the rapist.
Yeah, she did. She beat him to death. Anyway.
There would have been more repercussions.
There was no repercussions for anything in the movie. Like, the whole thing was Pedro Pascal became the wishing stone, and then it was slowly killing him every time he gave a wish. And then it was like, but what if it didn't? And then it didn't. Also, that's not how satellites work. That's all I'm going to say. Also, he talked to the president, and the whole plot of the movie was just on, like, fucking printed out PowerPoint slides in his office.
They actually got the actual story. They actually got the storyboards from the movie, and they just put them there.
Do any of you have any New Year's resolutions?
I'm gonna get big.
Yeah, like actually. Like
Yeah,
you're gonna get swole, or are you just gonna try to lose weight? Oh, you're gonna eat a lot of food.
I'm gonna get big. No, I'm gonna try and lose weight. I mean, but I don't think of resolutions because it's dumb. It's a dumb concept.
Toby, I want you to know my New Year's resolutions are my primary monitor's 3440 by 1440, and my secondary is 3840 by 2160.
Baba Booey.
Joseph, what's your resolution?
I don't know, to just say no to things, you know? Like,
When
Joseph,
you
do you want to do the podcast and do you want to stream? No. No, I don't.
We've only been going for like 2 and a bit hours.
X.
Now, what's your guys' opinions on New Year's resolutions? Is that a thing that you've ever really done?
I don't know. I don't care. If people want to have them, they can have them. People don't want to have them.
I'm not talking about other people. I'm talking about you personally. Have you ever tried to hold a New Year's resolution?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember. Probably. So that's a no then.
The thing is that when you're as weak-willed as I am, and you make a resolution, you try to enforce any sort of change, and you don't. You end up feeling worse than what you did previous. So you know.
My
Anxiety.
New Year's resolution is to not buy the Lego Millennium Falcon for $1,200.
You know what, Dan? Now that I know that's a thing, my New Year's resolution is also to not buy it.
I have a feeling
resolution is to buy it just to spite you.
I have the feeling I'm going to fail my resolution. No, I don't have that much money to spend on Lego. The Razor Crest, though, once that comes back in stock, Brooke, if you're listening to this at any point, or if you're watching live now, I want you to know that you've cost me a lot of money on Lego.
Have you found a new obsession with Lego?
Yes, I'm back in. Guys, what's your opinion on Lego?
Oh, it's fantastic.
Well, actually, Joseph, you've just bought a bunch of fucking helmets. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, I bought the... Alright, I'll get them out. Let's get them out. That wasn't me.
Episode 36, everyone. Episode 36.
35.
Why is it stuck?
episode 35.
Alright. So, I bought Boba Fett.
We saw that one last week.
This was
Or the week
this is the
before.
one I found. Oh, there was at a shop. I bought that.
So is that like the Black Series collectible, officially licensed ones?
Yes, yeah, they are.
Okay.
And then I went online, bought a Stormtrooper
Nice.
helmet because I thought, like, if I'm gonna have them, I may as well have this. I'm gonna have a Stormtrooper helmet.
What's the visibility like looking out of the helmet?
It's actually not as good as you think.
No, I thought the Stormtrooper would be awful. That's why they miss every shot. That's some Star Wars humor for you.
Pretty bad. And then I bought this one, which is my favorite.
So that's for the audio listeners, it's the Red Squadron.
That's the helmet that Ray had in episode 7.
No, shut up. No,
I think she had the one from Blue Squadron, actually.
Ray
so go
from
fuck
episode
yourself.
9.
Ray Skywalker from episode 9.
Ray Skywalker.
And I also pre-ordered Mando's helmet.
Damn.
Ooh, how much did that cost? How much are each of the helmets?
Well, I got rorted at fucking Zing, 240 for the fucking Boba Fett helmet.
Yeah, I was
But
gonna
then I
say
bought
Zing
the
would do ya.
Stormtrooper one for like 120, and then this one for like Luke's X-Wing helmet. I bought it for like 160, 180, I think it was.
That's pretty cool. And then, so how much did the Mando one cost you for the pre-order?
That was 240 as well.
Did you pre-order it from Zing or?
Yeah, so because I didn't even know they were a thing. So
Yeah,
when
that's
I bought
awesome.
it,
I kind of want the Mando one now, and then I'll be like,
yeah, so I think pre-order it. There's a
Are you going to get the full suit?
So that's where I was leading. I kind of want to cosplay Mandalorian.
Can I be Baby
it's also
Yoda?
expensive.
No, but so I said Mando DeLorean. I'm gonna have the Mando suit, but I'm just gonna put a DMC logo on my chest, like DeLorean. I was doing some comedy. Okay, so
Guys,
Hash Bacon in chat has just said,
now.
I've got a Titanfall 2 pilot helmet. I do want it, but I'm not gonna let you give it to me. But Titanfall 2 is the best video game ever made. Discuss.
I haven't finished it yet.
Well, I don't know. I don't really like those types of games, so
Good
I would say
discussion.
my opinion
Nah.
doesn't count on that. Because it's it's hard to. How can you comment on a game?
That you haven't played.
When you
That's
don't
very
like this
grown
type
up
of
of
game.
you, Joseph.
Yeah.
Though I hate it because it's a shooter.
Okay, so going back to collectibles, like what do Joseph, I know you invest in collectibles a fair bit. What is your like thought process methodology behind that?
Well, I basically any sort of Batman the animated series stuff I try and buy, like just like if that Zing or if I can find it anywhere. They're so hard to find in Australia. Like I've got a couple stuff. I've got a Harley Quinn 20 anniversary sort of statue
I
somewhere.
see that in the background.
You can kind of see it.
Yeah.
It's there. I'm not going to bring it over. I've got like a lot of the old sort of toys stuff from them. I got a lot of Star Wars stuff as well. I don't know. I just whatever I can sort of find, I'll buy.
And so, do you find yourself getting like more like statues and shit, or like action figures and toys and Lego and stuff?
I think most of the stuff was like sort of that sort of higher end action figure, but I think now I'm like I was talking to Dad on he wants to start we want to start getting like proper like
prop quality type.
like
and
we
shit.
want to get like a to scale, not obviously not a 2-scale.
2-scale Star Destroyer.
Yeah, no. That was like I want to get some Star Wars stuff. I was like, well, you've come to the right man. He wants to get like a Millennium Falcon, like an X-wing, and like in like those sort of model stuff.
Yeah.
So we're trying to look at buying some of that shit. But yeah,
Because my next question was going to be, when you got action figures, how often do you find yourself actually like utilizing them? Would you say it's a worthwhile investment? Do they still bring you joy?
most of them are still in their packages.
Is your
The ones
intention
that
to
I-
resell?
No, I just want them, and I just want them in the packages.
Because that's something I don't really understand. People buying shit like that for the sole purpose of reselling them.
Yeah, no,
Like, I
wouldn't
understand it, but
resell-
it's so fucking like heartless. Like, let some kid enjoy it.
like my
no.
stuff isn't new stuff. Like it's I got Batman the animated series stuff in its packaging from like 1995,
Yeah.
and like then like the sort of new recent collectible stuff. That's that's pretty expensive. It's not really meant to be played with. It's just kind of meant to be put in the package and
Yeah.
leave it there, and I just keep because I've got a lot of shit like older.
Okay,
Batman the
when
animated
you
series
have a
stuff.
child in the future, God.
No, they're
God.
not touching them.
I was gonna say, how late is too late to abort a kid who touches your action figures?
See,
Yeah.
but if you don't
Ugh.
care about like reselling it, it's a foreign concept to me. I don't get
Well,
collected.
if I don't care about reselling them, it doesn't mean I want them to be destroyed.
Yeah, but if you raise your kid not like you,
What do you mean? Everything I have is looked after.
He's actually not wrong, Kobe. As much as I love Joseph bashing, I am gonna have to side with him.
Everything I have is in perfect condition. The only stuff I like, the old stuff, is from when I was like 3 or 4. Is like my old.
fine,
Batman
I concede.
That's
I'm not happy
my god.
about it.
Did
Kobe-
Kobe willingly
He
concede?
did just concede.
I concede a lot.
Kobe, do you collect anything like this?
Nah.
Would you? What is your? So what I'm kind of getting at is so Joseph, would you say that collecting like Star Wars shit like this are you a hobbyist on this? Is this a hobby of yours?
Yeah, I like finding and buying shit. It's very fun.
Kobe, what would you say your hobbies is currently as a 21-year-old in COVID quarantine? What's your hobby?
Music.
Yep, that's where I was going. Good answer.
Okay. Yep.
You recently
Yeah.
invested in something. You really make me pull this out of you, huh?
I don't.
You're gonna have
What-
to reach into his asshole and grab his prostate to get this.
What?
I know
what
you
did
bought a new
re-
fucking interface, didn't you? And you're gonna do a cool setup. And how's this gonna help Southbound? That's what I'm trying to get at.
I got this.
So Star Wars.
What is
It's
this for the
It's
audio
just
listeners?
It's just an 8-channel audio interface. It is the PreSonus Studio 1824C. It's just it's just to do demos. I've got a cool solo project. I've got 2 solo projects in the works.
So you've already fractured from Southbound.
Well, no, see, my philosophy with music is
You're better at it than anyone else is.
that's untrue. My philosophy with music is that, well, especially with Southbound, is like if there is something that I have that well, in terms of music, when I write, if I write something and I go, wow, this would be a really good Southbound song, because I would like to see how Jeremy, the drummer of Southbound, Boma,
Not
the
Joseph,
bass
Boma.
player of Southbound, not Joseph, he doesn't exist.
I don't know why. I was looking at Joseph, but I was thinking of Boma, so I don't know why.
Yeah. Or Dylan,
Yes,
the
when
guitarist
people
of
look at me, they
Southbound.
think
Like,
of
I would
Boma.
like to know what they would also do with that music. But then at the same time, if there is a song that I go, wow, this wouldn't fit anywhere within like what we do or what the boys would really enjoy, there's no really worth to it. And then I might explore that idea further and try and create a concept out of it. So that, yeah, does that answer your question?
Well, I was gonna say, so what's the plan? Are you gonna use this new mixer to? I know you've been trying to mic drums. That's been your whole thing for a little while.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and there's a lot more money to go into it. Because drum mics are fucking expensive. And then, believe it or not, then I have to buy stands and cables, and then I have to buy a new desk. And then I have to pay someone to put an Ethernet port in my room so that I can put the studio.
You can pay
stuff
me
in.
to do it. I can't promise the integrity of your room, of your walls after, but I will do it if you pay me.
I'm gonna pay someone that isn't Dan to do that, and then they're gonna say, "Oh, we can't do that because the scaffolding is in the way," and then I'm gonna be like, "Well, fuck."
What do you? I don't. You know this. They take away the scaffolding after they're done building the house, right?
I mean the support beams, but I said scaffolding as a replacement because I couldn't think about it on the spot. You know what I mean? No, it's. I've thought about monetizing, Southbound in a very particular way, and I don't want to spoil that way yet.
Is that way by not releasing any music on Spotify?
No,
I would say
that's
releasing
just because
Spotify is not monetizing. You get
monetizing
30.37 cents.
extra monetization outside of putting things on streaming platforms, like having not just the songs that we release, and it's got to do with demos because I like demos.
We should do a Southbound. So it's a beer, pizza, and music night.
That would be sick. But COVID still exists.
It does. It does still exist, and restrictions are at an all-time high for New South Wales. So at the moment, the current rules are for Sydney, Greater Sydney area. Masks are essential in any public place. A $200 fine if you aren't wearing a mask.
Good.
Maximum of five people in a house, and 30 people at outdoor gatherings. And then there is like other rules for pubs and stuff. I think it's just like they have to watch their like numbers. But have you guys been affected by that in any way at all? Both of you are still on holidays from work, aren't you?
Yeah, I go back.
Yeah, I'm off. Yeah, I go back next week. I haven't really been out. I went out once I had to go to Marrickville to get the cheese to make pizza. And I had to wear a mask in there. But then I didn't have to wear a mask when I'm sitting down.
That's not right.
Like sitting down eating.
Oh, when you're eating. Sorry, that is. Yeah.
Yeah. But on masks, we're gonna talk about. So me and Dan had a little bit of a row. Is that the word, a row?
Well, it wasn't. The two of us did not have the row. We joined sides in a row against some Facebook mums.
Well, Dan, you have a history of.
I do have a history.
Slamming,
so we've
slamming, completely dunking,
just fucking slamming Karens. So I think we talked about this on a podcast. I cut it out of that podcast, but I guess I'll give the brief rundown. So I like to think that I'm keep my eye on the tech world a lot. I know what's going down. I also have a background in science and engineering in terms of my formal education. Thus, I feel like I'm pretty well, I have a lot of knowledge on the 5G plan to roll out across basically the developed world. It came to my attention via a Facebook tagging that there was an entire group whose their purpose was to stop 5G rollout in Australia, under the guise that it was harmful, the radiation's causing cancer or something. And so for about a 2-month period, I made it my mission to comment on every single post, just kind of making a mockery of the whole point. I never went in on the attack first. I'd just make some sort of passive-aggressive comment making them look stupid, wait for a boomer to attack me, and then go fucking ham on them and destroy them. And so, yes, we've had this time, 5G was not the enemy, it was having to wear a mask. Would you like to elaborate, Joseph?
Yeah. So, on the 10 News Sydney fucking thing, was talking about the masks, and this chick who at the time I thought it was a bloke, but because I don't know, I didn't expect.
There was like 7 people in her profile picture.
Yeah, and so it's what absolute garbage. Just another step towards control, normalizing communism, and me as quite a history buff and in terms of things like this, that's not what communism is.
No, wearing a mask is actually not communism. It's called not being a fucking selfish piece of shit.
So someone else commented a bit after, well, it wasn't, I think it was during, and it was just like Stalin's mandatory mask laws, which gave me a good giggle. But I just responded saying, I don't think, and I tagged Dan, I said, I don't think this bloke knows what communism is. Then Dan comments, I don't know, I think being forced to wear a muzzle by the government as part of this pandemic is definitely communism. Then she goes on about all this bullshit.
Let's not read any of the further ones, because it does get a bit more aggressive, and I don't know what about the Twitch rules. I don't know if I want this recorded publicly.
Well, no, I was just going to write what you wrote.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, you just said that if you do this, you're going to kill your nan and your baby if you do that.
Okay, don't read the next one.
I'm going to read my one.
You can read yours. Yours was excellent. So at another point, another boomer jumped in, another Karen jumped in, and started having a go, saying like, "Oh, this is not like appropriate language." Basically jumping on the anti-maskers side and then revealing them as anti-masks themselves, which fuel to the fire. Got me and Joseph going. Anyway, then Joseph had one of the greatest comebacks I've ever heard.
So she was like, just keep wearing your mask and get your vaccine and keep nodding your head. And at this point, I was like, you're just a fucking idiot. So I was just like, you know what? I'll wear my mask and keep my family alive, thanks. I'll make sure to visit yours at Rookwood.
Rookwood being a cemetery.
Rookwood is the biggest cemetery in the Southern Hemisphere. Yeah. I'd say majority of people go when they die. And then at that point, that's when the other boomer came in. Your comments are absolutely disgraceful, mate. What a cowardly thing to say. Responding to a message Dan sent, which I don't think she read correctly.
She might have clicked on the wrong one. I don't know. But yeah, and then I went on a bit of a tear, actually. I went through that post and I scrolled through and I found some other people making questionable comments. There was one, so a person posted in a reply, they posted like an image of like the the Australian government's like outline like the mask protects. It's like it's not so much for protecting you, it's for protecting other people if you do have the virus. And like because some people can be asymptomatic, blah blah blah. It was basically like a paragraph explaining that. And some person like replied saying like, see, they even say that wearing a mask, it doesn't help you. Like something like putting a muzzle on us, blah 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 blah. And I was like, fuck, here we go. So I was like, oh, you fucking selfish piece of shit. Had some words with that bloke. I just don't understand how people don't understand that if you just wear a mask, number one, you have less of a risk of, like, if you do have it and you're asymptomatic, transferring it to someone who will suffer from it. And number two, just, if we all wear masks now for a little bit, this will be over sooner.
Well, I don't think people understand that if we all wear masks, we can actually just do everything that we always did.
Yeah.
Just wearing masks. Like, I don't think Japan really went into a massive lockdown or...
Oh, they've got it pretty bad at the moment.
Oh, is it bad?
They had it pretty bad.
But for a lot of the time, they were just all wearing masks like they usually do.
A combination of wearing masks and like doing your best to social distance is like the most effective way to stop community transmissions. Like, without question.
Like, it fucking works. It's proven that it works. Why? And I don't understand why people can't put their own fucking selfish, like, desire. Like, just how does it really affect them if they can't?
Because they can't breathe while they wear it, Joseph. This
Look,
thing that has been known to kill
breathe.
millions of people because it stops their breathing. They can't breathe wearing it.
And I love like the people excuse, oh, I have a respiratory problem, thus I cannot wear a mask. Well, sir
you're
or
gonna
ma'am,
die.
if you have a respiratory problem and you contract COVID, you may be fucked.
I just don't understand. Like,
People are dumb.
and if you even look at, there's a lot of statistics as well that America's death rate, like on top of COVID-related symptoms, COVID-related deaths, has actually like doubled or something like that. Look, I'll take that with a grain of salt because I can't remember where I read it.
An infographic now on Google.
Because like there's probably a lot of deaths. Like you remember at the start of the pandemic, just a bunch of people kept dying from pneumonia.
Well, yeah, it's because it attacks your respiratory system. So if you had any
Yeah.
pre-existing conditions, like heart conditions, respiratory conditions, it like weakens you, and then whatever else you have kills you.
It's like AIDS.
It is like, you know what, Joseph, for
That
once
wasn't
you are
even a
right.
joke.
It
That
is
was-
like
that
AIDS.
wasn't a joke. It's just fucked.
I know.
don't know.
I'm just sick of the pandemic, and I want it to be over, but people are refusing to help. Wear your fucking mask. It's not that hard. I just want to go to the movies again, man.
I
Yeah,
just
I know.
want to
I'm
play
actually missing
gigs.
this movie so bad.
It looks like we're gonna have a fourth cancellation or maybe postponage.
So,
And it's gonna be annoying.
so you guys had a gig scheduled for mid-March of 2020. This is correct?
It was late March. It was
Late
March
March.
28th.
So, I don't know if you all recall the time in which COVID kicked off. It was, in
was
fact,
that week.
March.
It was that
It was like 3 days before New South Wales
Yeah.
went into lockdown. And that gig got pushed back. That gig has been pushed back, what, twice now? 3 times now?
It was originally pushed back to September. Remember when we thought it was going to be done by September?
Yep.
Australia had sort of, cases had laxed by that
Well,
point.
we basically
It wasn't
defeated
enough.
COVID at one
Oh
point.
yeah, effectively, yeah. We had no community transmissions like at the end of November, throughout the end of November, and then fucking people. But it's that thing, and we talked about it the other week when I said you should lie, but you shouldn't lie as a government. Where we touched on it. Remember podcast content, Dan? I see you there. I see you.
The government
Shut
should
up.
never lie.
The government should never lie, but it instills this like false confidence
Security.
that false security that people are like, oh yeah, it's gone, it's completely gone, when it's not. And when I was working, I was still very conscious in wearing a mask. I don't think I've not worn a mask while working since I came back from work.
This is very responsible.
But you could tell that people were just living their normal lives, still doing their normal stuff, like acting like nothing happened, and it even went from the community at large, and it climbed up like stores that I would go to. The workers were no longer wearing masks, and even when they were meant to be wearing masks in December, they were just wearing them incorrectly, or they weren't wearing masks at all.
God, I went to a church service over Christmas. I got dragged to one.
That's stupid. Just say no.
So they were, I can't, because family. They were administering Eucharist, first off. Whack.
Oh yeah.
Second off, so they were wearing masks, but both of the Eucharist administrators had the masks below the nose. So they may as well have not been wearing masks, and they just put their COVID on a biscuit into my face.
So you had to
Don't
do
you just refuse? I refuse communion.
No, I would have
Yeah.
gotten yelled at. Look, I'd already
I
besmirched the Catholic Church a lot that day, and was kind of in hot water. I didn't want to ruin Christmas.
No, see, my aim is to ruin Christmas. I told my nonna that if she goes to, I told both of them if they go to church and accept the Eucharist, I'm going to buy them a coffin for their next birthday and just put them in it. I said, are you fucking stupid? They tell me like, we try to go to church as much as we can. I said, are you fucking dumb? What the fuck is wrong with you? I said, you go again, I'm buying you a coffin. I'm not coming to see you again for the next 2 months. Like, oh, why you do that? Why you be rude? Why you be like this? I said, fucking, because you're going to die, you stupid old people. Fuck me. And then my nonna just goes to Bankstown sometimes. She goes, I believe in the pandemic, everything, but fuck, I just want to get my tomato. I was like, fuck me, you bloody wog. And the tomato thing, that was just that was a bit
So
of
basically, PSA from the
ethnic-
Slalt Cast: wear your fucking mask. Don't
and
be
don't go to
dumb.
church.
Don't eat COVID biscuits. And yeah, so
Yeah.
speaking of tomatoes, Joseph, you have something about pizza to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
about.
Yeah, so I put it in the little podcast topic. So
I,
I was like, oh, yeah.
I was trying not to say that, and then you just
Yeah, I
outright
know,
said
but I wanted to put it. I wanted to say it, Dan.
Can I read the transcript of what would happen in the
I
podcast?
fucking-
topic?
you may as well.
Read
You may as well
read it
now.
from today. Read it from
Dan,
the
Dan, at 8 o'clock, 17 minutes ago, at here, do you have any topics?
I said, do any of you
Joseph
have topics? Thank you.
Sorry. Joseph then replied, Cobra Kai.
I'd like to make a
Dan
note that
replied,
3 messages above my at here, I had already said Cobra Kai.
Yeah, that's what I was running while we haven't.
Yeah, but then I'd planned, so I sent those 2 days ago. I'd planned to watch
Oh,
it
you
between
planned to
now
watch
and
it?
then, and I hadn't.
Yeah.
And then Dan said, I haven't watched it and I don't want it spoiled. Joseph said, fuck, I got quick pizza thing. And then me and Dan roasting for masks, which is what
We
the
just
topic
talked
was.
about.
I'm roasting for Karl Marx. Yep.
And then Dan said, if you can segue it, go for it. And
And
then
they see that was the
destroyed
segue.
the segue.
Well, the segue was perfectly fine. You guys have now
Joseph
dived
just
into
went
the inner
segue.
workings.
I wanted to,
You've opened the clock face.
Look, this
Kobe.
is how the
You've opened
sausage
the
gets
clock
made,
face.
okay?
Yeah. I had to go to Marrickville get a bunch of pizza cheese, and because I was like, you know what?
I got
Why would
dick cheese.
So yeah, we went to Marrickville, the spot where I get all the cheese from the factory, and I was like, look, Kobe, I hate you so much. So I made pizza at home because I did a little bit of experimenting. I wanted to see how, try different dough and shit like that.
On any of those?
What's up?
Did you put
No.
pineapple on any of
No,
those?
I didn't because I'm not a fucking infidel. So, and then I was like, fuck, I made 12 pizzas here and there's 3 humans. We're not going to eat fucking 12 pizzas. So I was like, you know what? Mum, go around and send it to the neighbors that we like and talk to and see if, just bring them a couple margaritas each. So Mum ran around, gave a couple of the neighbors pizzas. And that was the first time someone not in my family or like my mates had eaten my pizza. And I got a lot of really nice messages today. So I just wanted to point that out, that my pizza's getting...
So you just wanted to gloat.
Yeah, basically. Yep, that was my entire thing.
Announcement, you weren't going to make plans for starting your business. You were just...
So that one...
Weren't you supposed to launch in January?
Yeah,
You're supposed to launch in December, then you were supposed to launch in January.
Well, look, I'm gonna leave it for now. Just let it
COVID makes
a little bit. Yeah, but I've actually got a party in February that hopefully I'll be able to do. So hopefully I'll be able to have my first proper catering gig then.
And get paid for it.
Get paid, yes.
Cool. Wow, that's really
It is. So as you can see, I have an erect penis.
I can't see it.
now.
I actually can't see it.
Let me get up.
No.
Don't stand up on Twitch. Also, actually, no, he can stand up. Actually, no, stand up. We won't be able to see it still. Go fuck yourself. Get slammed, kid.
Get
I don't
fucking
understand the slam
slammed.
there. Is it because I'm short?
Because you got a small.
or-
Because you got a small penis.
It's not what your girlfriend said.
I don't have a girlfriend.
It's not what your wife said.
We divorced.
They did
Oh,
divorce,
shit.
so it's kind of fucked up that you'd bring it up.
Yeah, come
if
on,
I'm being
man. Why the
honest.
fuck would you bring that? Come on, man. What the fuck? You know it's a sensitive.
Joseph, I want to know why you don't respect Kobe.
Yeah, come on, man.
Um.
First, you fucked my wife.
Yeah.
Then you disrespected me, and then
Yep.
tell me that you fucked my wife.
Yeah. Is there a longer list? Or?
There was
Then-
that one time where you
Then you said I'm not gonna fuck my wife. I'm not gonna fuck Kobe's wife, and then you fucked Kobe's wife. And then there was that time where you lied about fucking my wife, and then when you got called out about fucking my wife, you
say
caved
it like
and went.
you say it like I got called out like it was a secret. I just didn't want to say it. Dan's actually dying.
Dan's muted his microphone. But
People on video are just watching Dan fucking suffocate.
that's what you did to my wife.
No, Lawrence Bacon. He's a. Oh, sorry. I'll just refer to the chat.
remember how we don't
Just make it
refer to
fun.
Twitch chat?
Yeah, but yes.
And
no,
don't
I
read
did
that
bring
message.
real quick.
Don't read
Okay,
that
that's the
message.
message I'm allowed to read. Okay.
And then also that one time in band camp.
Well, there was that one time I looked at your YouTube channel and you had a meltdown.
We've told this story.
Well, there was the other time about the emojis. Did we end up talking about that story?
Oh, would you look at that? We've run the hour.
Oh god, I really want to talk about the emoji story. I really want to talk about the emoji story, Kobe.
Oh, but that was such a perfect ending, though.
No, it wasn't, because we haven't talked about the emoji story.
All right.
So, okay, someone.
I don't even know. Is it a story?
Someone filibuster while I try to find the messages.
Don't find the messages, please. We can just tell.
Because then you'll be wrong. Because then you won't.
Okay,
no,
so
I hold my position thusly.
It's stupid.
So Dan uses when he laughs. Right. I want to preface this by saying we can all agree that text doesn't carry emotion exceptionally well, even with the use of emoticons.
But I'll say that you put emojis in there as a emotional cue of the message. So if it's a funny message, it's a tone setter. That's what an emoji is. It's an emotional. It's not a reaction to the message.
Emotion in the message changes from sentence to sentence, you can use a laughy emoji and then the kinky face and then the
no emoji if you're
face.
But see, Dan, the only emoji he ever uses in text is the sideways crying.
Not sideways, standard cry laughing.
I use a sideways
laughing face.
And I use that because a lot of my messages are jovial because I attempt to not start beef. But I sometimes say alarming things and then I use the crying or laughing emoji to say, it was a joke. I'm laughing.
See, when I picture Dan saying something funny, sometimes he will laugh at himself properly, but also when he's paying you out, he'll often have this laugh of like, you're an idiot. So that's what I took that as. And as
that's how you know it's not a paying out and he's having a joke.
Now you're literally the purpose.
But right, when you interpret the message like that, and you see it really often, and you play a lot of League of Legends like I do, where people use XD in the exact same in the way of like they'll go.
So I'm going to pause you and
you can't say on Twitch XD.
So I'm going to pause you and just read the transcript. So the context is we were discussing something about the Mandalorian. This was before we knew detail. It was like just after the episode aired. And Kobe said something, and I said, we won't have an answer for a year. Crying, laughing emoji. Because we kind of had like a semi-heated argument. I wanted to diffuse it. Kobe said, oh, what? He said, oh, what? Am I now allowed to speculate? He meant to say not.
I said that jokingly.
Well, I didn't know because you didn't use an emoji. Joseph said, why are you always mad? Because the conversation had already gotten kind of heated.
I remember it getting heated.
Well, it must have been because people were mad. And then I say, that was not intended as an attack. You say, I just assume whenever I see a crying, laughing emoji, it's negative. That emoji triggers me to no end. I hate it. It's like when people in League say LeMayo or XD. Joseph says, don't be so triggered, it's okay. I reply to I just assume whenever I see a crying, laughing emoji saying, that sounds like you're misinterpreting an emoji.
Is that when I got told to fuck my dog?
No, I said, that sounds like you interpret the emoji with the crying, laughing face, and then you say, Dan, you did it again, just don't use the emoji.
Yeah, just don't use it.
But can you understand how that I'm using it correctly to attempt to diffuse a situation with comedy?
Also, you can use a period in text, and it could be misinterpreted. You can use anything. That's
why I use the word menstruation instead.
Ah, yes, I see.
Right,
and in my anger, I said some pretty silly things. I admit,
just a little bit,
like the quote, and I quote: "Emojis are reactions, not amplifiers to a sentence." Do you still stand by this statement?
That's what I think they should be.
Oh, so you're wrong. So you're still wrong.
That's what you think they should be. That's not what they are.
Yeah, well, no, fuck you.
Hang on.
I know it's not the thing.
We're gonna have some character development, hopefully, right now.
All right,
Kobe.
Joseph should still fuck his dog.
Okay, we're not gonna.
We don't
endorse bestiality. Don't. Kobe.
Where's the rope?
I understand that your opinion is that emoji should be used purely as reactions and not as sentence amplifiers. Is this true? Is that your opinion?
Yes, that is my opinion.
Do you understand that your opinions do not align with the facts of the world?
Yeah, but that's wrong.
So you understand they do not align with the facts of the world?
No, because they're wrong. Because
do you expect
they
everyone
make
else to
remarks.
change because of your opinion? Okay, no character development was had. Joseph, where can the kids find you?
On my balcony making pizza.
What's your Instagram
at via Garibaldi, via.Garibaldi.
Kobe, where can they find you?
At _55 Kobe 55 and at _south_bound on Instagram.
And all those end with a laughy face.
And at Kobe _55 on Twitter.
And follow his Twitter for more similarly hot takes. You can find me at DanielF737 on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow the Slalt Cast at Slalt Cast on all of your social media platforms. If we're not on one, tell me, and I'll say, fuck you, you're wrong. And then I'll have, like, sneakily made a profile on that one so that you are wrong when you go back to double check. You can also find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/SlaltCast. Search us on YouTube because we don't have a vanity URL yet. While you're there at our YouTube, please subscribe so we can get to enough subscribers to get a vanity URL.
Are we on Google Plus?
No, that doesn't exist anymore.
Bebo, MySpace. We should have a MySpace.
No, we stream on Mondays and Mondays and Wednesdays, and sometimes Thursdays. Except the last couple of Thursdays have been like Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve, so we didn't stream on those Thursdays. But my intention is to stream this Thursday, as long as I don't have to stay back later at work. This podcast, you can watch it, you can listen to it, you can do all the things. That's live sometimes. We're doing this one live. It's actually live all the time. Thank you for listening. Kobe or Joseph, say something funny.
We should have a MySpace. Vote yes for MySpace.
Baba Booey. Baba Booey.
Thanks for listening. Please remember to leave a positive rating wherever you're listening from, and to follow our socials at Slalt Cast on Twitter and Instagram.